tell you a little bit about myself. My brother and I have been in ACN 22 years. So if you're looking for a home, you found it. Background, nothing special. Used to sell cars, deliver pizza, cut grass, did a little bit of everything. And you know, a friend's mother invited us over to a presentation 22 years ago, and you know, just saw an opportunity here. We got started, we attended training, we came to events, and right here's what changed our business for us. But here's what we did. Our first month, we didn't set the world on fire. You know, we got promoted a couple times. I've never been promoted in any business that I've ever been before, so I was excited. Within 6 months, we hit regional director, 2 years regional vice president, and the last 22 years has just been an amazing ride. You know, just an amazing, amazing ride. And, you know, I want to thank our organization. We have some amazing people we've been attracted to this business. You know, and that's what you're going to find as you go through ACN, some of the people that come into your lives and come into your business. Now, my job today is to teach you how to build distribution. Now, would you agree with me, the person that has the most IBOs is going to naturally have the most customers? So this topic here, if you do it correctly, you can have massive success in our business, not only bringing IBOs into your business, but at getting customers also. See, everybody that became a customer for Patrick and I saw the opportunity first. So I'm going to teach you today how to fill your meetings with people, and the yeses will build your business, and the nos will build your customer base. Is that okay? But you've got to be coachable. Everybody say coachable. Here's one of the biggest things I see in ACN where people want to do it their own way. How many of you can relate? You know, you bring your experience and you bring your other things here, and it doesn't work out the way you want it to. When my business and my brother's business exploded is when we became very coachable. You know, we realized that our upline had the best intentions for us because if we did well, they did well. So the more coachable you become, the faster this will go. So let's jump right into it. The first thing we're going to talk about is building a team and launching your business, right? Now, I don't care if you're 1 week in, 1 month in, 6 months, or 6 years, you can launch your business next week. Can we agree? You can have another launch to your business. You can have another grand opening. How many of you want a do-over with a grand opening? You can do it this week, right? First thing you want to do is set your grand opening or set your meeting, right? Pick a time. We do most of our meetings on Zoom. How many of you are using Zoom now? Can we agree Zoom's more efficient? You can reach people faster. You can reach more people. There's no geographic restrictions, but you got to set a Zoom. And here's why you want to set it today, because when you leave this arena on Sunday, can we agree life's going to get in the way? You're going to be excited, but you need to have a place to take that excitement and push people to. So set your meeting now. Pick a date right now that works for you, whether that's Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Now, once you have your grand opening set, the next thing you want to do is start building a list. Now, like I said, I've been in ACN 22 years. I still have a list of names. People say, well, how do you have a list of names after 22 years? We meet people every day, yes or no? Everybody that comes within 3 feet of me knows what I do. I ask them, do you look at other ways of making money? They say yes or they say no, right? So I'm going to give you 22 years experience of the people that you want to highlight on your list. Are you ready? Number 1, business owners. See, business owners take a look at this opportunity different than somebody that works a job. Can we agree? Here's what business owners see. They see that it's a low overhead starting cost. Can we agree? They see no overhead, no fixed costs, no liabilities, scalability in a system, and support. Look, business owners, I call ACN business fantasy land. How many of you own a business? Right? Can you agree? I don't have to do payroll here. ACN does that for me. I don't have to worry about installation and answering all the hard questions. ACN does that for me. All I had to do is get good at putting people in front of it. But when business owners see this, here's what they do. They bring other business owners to the table. And we're coming into a time in our economy where business owners are looking, yes or no? Everything's getting more expensive. Business owners are looking for a second wave of money, but put them on your list. Second type of people you want to put on your list are people that have experience in this industry. How many of you heard of this industry prior to ACN? You might have heard companies that sell products or vitamins or cleaning products. You know, when you show somebody this opportunity that has experience in this industry, they come in and do massive things. And I'll give you an example. We have a gentleman named Randy Darnell. Randy Darnell, his first convention was in Dallas, Texas. Came to the convention, not any rep or any customers, but he had experience in this industry. Left the convention, brought his experience, brought people here, went regional director in 42 days, has over 1,000+ points in his team, and has 31 people in this meeting today. How many of you want a Randy Darnell in your business? Right, you got to go after people in this industry. Right now, third type of people that make over 100 grand or more a year. Now, why do I say 100 grand or more a year? Would you agree if you work for a company and you're at that income level, you're probably in some form of management, yes or no? You probably have taken work home with you, yes or no? You've probably taken the stress of work home. You probably have a work ethic. But when you show somebody this business and they bring that work ethic and they bring that to the table, they have massive success. And I can go through lists of people on our team that have had success, you know, working for a company, brought it over here and exploded the business. So they're the three types, and then everybody else. Now, I know some of you are probably sitting here this morning saying, well, Mike, you didn't reach any of those three things. You didn't own a business, you know, but you seem to do pretty well. Let me explain how I got involved in ACN. My brother and I were sitting at the meeting. Now, my brother owned a t-shirt business, so he was a business owner. He understood leverage. And I watched him fill out the form. I watched him get started. Well, I wasn't going to let him get rich without me. Meaning, he influenced my decision. That's why today he's here and I'm here. But so I'm not saying pre-qualify anybody, but those are the three types of people you want to go after. But remember, when I started ACN, I didn't have the confidence to go after those people. How about you? I put people on my list like my broke friends and my broke relatives, and here's what I found. They weren't interested. It wasn't till I started calling these people, and here's what I found. They were the easiest to recruit because they brought the business mind to the table, they brought experience to the table, they brought a work ethic. Now, after you compile your list, and here's what I can suggest, make a minimum of 100 names. Minimum. Now, a lot of people say, Mike, I don't know 100 people. I beg to disagree. If I told you I was going to give you $1,000 a name, but you had to have 100 names on a piece of paper, how many of you would be coming to me for a $100,000 check? Exactly. You get real creative. You'd be like mailman, right? I don't know him, but I know him. Do the same thing here. Start building that list of names. Randy Darnell put a list of 500 people together. Did he make the minimum the maximum? No. He's like 100's great, but 500's better. Now, here's the third thing. And this is the secret of watching people come in and out of ACN for 20 years that have had success, is they did this part right. They put a lot of people in front of it quickly. See, how many of you realize people do as we do, not as we say? If you put 3 people on a Zoom and you say, I'm excited, you got 3 people, how excited really are you? What are your actions showing? But if you go put 25 people in front of this right out of the gate, how excited are you? At that point, you're sorting, not selling. But here's what also happens. People will do as you say, not as you do, not as you say. Everybody that I've seen come in the business that had success did this right. They put a lot of people in front of it fast. How many of you heard the name Senior Vice President, Mr. M.D. Rahman? Absolutely. M.D. Rahman, Senior Vice President, did it a little under 6 years. But when I met M.D., he was driving a taxi. He lived in this country for 7 years at that point. He's originally from Bangladesh, and he didn't speak English well. And I remember when I first met him, he said something to me. I looked at a sponsor. I'm like, what did he say? But he was excited and he was coachable. And I remember he's like, I don't know if I can do ACN because I don't speak enough English. I said, the only English you need is the script I'm about to teach you. I was like, I need you to learn this script and say it to everybody you could say it to. And I said, here's the positive. When they say no, you won't understand them. Because how many of you are affected by no's? Look, no's are just part of the process, can we agree? Not everybody's going to see this. Look, we could have a gold-making machine and some of your friends would still drop them on their toes, yes or no? Not everybody's going to see it. But I'm going to teach you a script that's worked extremely well to get people to come and take a look. But you got to be coachable. Look, I love the fact that they had a script because then I didn't have to come up with something on my own. Like, how many of you tried your own script and you didn't get people to show up? That's a clue, right? Now, here's the script. It's very simple. You want to ask somebody a question, do you look at other ways of making money? Now, when you ask that question, wait for an answer. And you're going to get one of three types of answers. You're going to get yes, you're going to get no, or you're going to get what are you talking about? Can we agree? Now, let's address the no. If someone says no, thank them and move on. It's not your time to get that salesperson hat on and go, what do you mean you don't look at other ways of making money? What are you talking about? If they say no, respect their no. Say that again, respect their no. Now, if they say yes or what are you talking about, here's where you want to insert your why. Why are you looking at something different? So let's say I called somebody up in this room. First of all, get excited. Get excited. People come see you. They'll come listen just because you're excited. But dude, I call them up and say, hey, it's Mike. You got a second? Want to ask you a question? Do you look at other ways of making money? Yes? Well, me too. I don't know if you know this, but I've been working on a car lot for 9 years and I'm not getting rich. And based on that, I started looking around at other things. I ran into a company that deals in essential services, but let me tell you who I met. I met this gentleman named Harsh Patel. Now, let me give you a background on Harsh. He's a banker. He started something part-time on the side. Right now, he's having massive success. Yeah, you heard me right. He's having massive success. And here's what I have. Tomorrow night at 6 p.m., I have a Zoom. It's going to be about 20 minutes with Mr. Patel, and he's going to show me exactly what he's doing. Now, what are you doing tomorrow night at 6, and can I put you down as coming? How many of you'd say yes? No. How many of you'd have questions? The majority of you would have questions, yes or no? Questions means you're interested. When you take away the interest, when you start answering the questions. Now, people say, well, Mike, I can't not answer a question. No, I'm going to teach you how to answer every question. You ready? No matter what question they ask. What is it? Can you give me more information? What's the name of the company? How did you meet Mr. Patel? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Here's what I do is I always compliment them on their question. That's a great question. Now, how do people feel when you compliment them? Right? You're right. I do ask good questions, right? I say, you know what? That's a great question. I don't know all the details, but here's what I do know. It deals in essential services. The gentleman's name's Harsh Patel, and he's having massive success. And based on his success, I want to hear what he has to say tomorrow at 6. How about you? Can I put you down as coming? You got another question. That's another great question. I don't know all the details, but here's what I do know. It deals in services. The gentleman's name's Harsh Patel, and he's having massive success. And based on his success, I want to hear what he has to say. How about you? Can I put you down as coming? Now, all of us are going to have some slow people in our lives. How many of you know what I mean? Right? They're usually the ones closest to you, right? And they ask you that third question. Here's how I answer it. That's another great question. I'm in the car business. I knew nothing about essential services, but Mr. Patel does. Would you like to meet him, or should I call somebody else? What am I doing? I'm sorting. I'm promoting the person, not the thing. How many of you got wrapped up in answering questions and they never showed up to the meeting? Or they said, no, thank you, it's not for me. Can we agree, unless they see the business the way we all see it, they can't make an educated decision, yes or no? It's that simple. But here's what I can suggest, practice that. Practice that script. When Patrick and I learned this script, he invited me, I invited him, he invited me, I invited the dog. We wanted to get it good because, would you agree, when you do anything for the first time, you're a little nervous, yes or no? But if you practice something over and over, even though you're nervous, the habit takes over, yes or no? So practice the script. Look at it as your Academy Award-winning line. If you only had one shot of Academy Award-winning line, how many of you'd wing it? Let me see. How many of you'd hire an acting coach? How many of you take it seriously? Write it out. Look, the people that do this good, they'll add more people to their list because the script works. Now, if they have questions, we cover that. I don't know, but here's what I do know, right? Talk about the person, not the thing. People want to come out and meet somebody having success doing something, not what they're doing. Have posture when inviting. Now, Zoom meeting, this is really simple. They will coach you before your Zoom meeting, but here's what I can tell you. Have a professional background, right? Find a nice place in your house because you're going to be doing a lot of Zooms, right? Test your microphone and video. You want it to work. Pay attention to the speaker. I did a Zoom a couple weeks ago, and after the host introduced me, they shut their camera off. Well, guess what all the guests did? Shut their camera off. You know, they're going to do what you do. How many of you see that happen? You know, get them to turn their camera on. If their camera's on, they're engaged, yes or no? But your camera has to go on. Take notes. Role of the host. Your job is to edify the speaker, kick the meeting off, and the speaker takes it from there. Now look, practice how to edify the speaker. Look, if I was edifying Regional Vice President Mr. Harsh Patel, I'd be like, look, this gentleman is extremely successful. He used to work in a bank. He partnered up with ACN. Today he's a regional vice president, one of the top regional vice presidents. I can't believe I have him on today's Zoom. I'm going to turn it over to Regional Vice President Mr. Harsh Patel. You set the stage. Now, I've done Zooms where I didn't coach the person, I didn't practice with the person, and it went something like this. Name of the company's ACN. I haven't made any money yet, and here's Mike. You laugh, but what do you think happened to the presentation? Nothing, right? Now, how many of you could do what I just described? Number one, set your meeting. Number two, write a list. Number three, practice a script. Call people up, they say yes, invite them to a Zoom and introduce the speaker. How many of you can do that? If your hand's up, you can build a business here. Now, at the end of the Zoom, you're going to have one of three types of people. You're going to have people that say yes. What do? Sign them up and get them to a training. Get them to the next training they can because they're going to go home and talk to somebody about it, yes or no? Right? You want to get them to the next training. That's important. I tell them, look, you got to come to Saturday training. I don't care what you got going on. You got to come. We can't do anything until you come to training. It's like a McDonald's. You buy a McDonald's, you go to where? Hamburger College, right? Now, you're going to have people that have questions. Questions means interest. Here's what I do with questions is I get them to the training. Here's what I found out. 90% of the people that take a look at this business and they have questions and they come to the training, they do it. Nobody gives another 2 hours of their time, can we agree, unless they're interested in something, yes or no? So I just start promoting the training. You got to come to training. You got to come to training. And then you're going to have people that say no. Everybody say no. No. Everybody all right? No just hurts the ego a little bit. Here's why I love no's, because no's translated into customers. Every customer that we've gotten over the years was someone that said, hey, thanks, but no thanks for the opportunity. Said, hey, would you do me a huge favor and try one of the service? They became customers. Like, I love no's. I thank no's so much they think they said yes. Now, how many of you agree this is simple? Keep it simple. I'm not a complicated person. The reason we had success is we were consistent, we never quit, and we kept it simple. And I promise you, you can have massive success and everything you want, you can have through this company if you just go out, be consistent, never quit, and keep it simple.